Tell me a little bit about where you grew up, what life was like as Wayne Dawson when you were just a little guy.
Grew up on the city's east side in the Glenville area. That's where my parents lived when I was born, and I lived there till I was about maybe 9 or 10 years old. And I do remember early on that it was an integrated community. But as I got older, it became all black. And the funny thing happened, we moved to East Cleveland when I was older. And the same thing happened. When I first moved to East Cleveland, it was an integrated neighborhood. But within a couple of years, once again, it became predominantly African American. So it didn't hit me at the time, but that is what was later called white flight. And I experienced it firsthand. And when I was a kid, you know, it was a turbulent time. It really, really was. A lot of racial tension all throughout the country and here in Cleveland as well. And I remember the riots of 1968. Lived in Glenville, and I remember how scared I was as a child. I mean, I understood why they were rioting because, you know, racial injustice and all of that. Didn't agree with, you know, what they were doing, however. And I just remember being so very scared as a child, afraid to, you know, to go to sleep, thinking that a bullet was going to come flying through my window at home. I was so happy when daylight came the next day and everything was okay. Really, really turbulent times, no doubt about that.
Growing up as a child, did you ever feel discriminated against?
It's kind of funny because I grew up, you know, in mostly African American communities, so I wasn't really exposed to that on a regular basis. I was the second wave of students who were bused to Murray Hill. It was part of Cleveland's first experiment with busing, desegregation. And the funny thing is, you know, this was after they had all that tension. The first wave was really, really bad. Rocks were thrown at the buses and people protesting because they didn't want, you know, little black kids coming into Little Italy.
Did your parents teach you and your brother growing up about racism, or was it always on the forefront of their mind to make you aware of it?
There was often conversations about, you know, racism, you know, in the household, you know, not so much directed at me, but you know, we understood that as African Americans, we were considered, you know, second-class citizens, sort of. We knew that there were certain things that we couldn't do, but they never really focused that conversation at me. I just would hear it. What they really told me was that, you know, Wayne, you can be and do whatever you want to do. You know, you don't let anything hold you back. Don't let the color of your skin hold you back. So there was never that conversation of, Wayne, okay, you know, you're going into a white community, you need to act this way or that way. I think it was just kind of understood that you need to act a certain way no matter who you're around.
Has your faith played a role in tolerating or educating people about equal rights?
I think it has, because when people act a certain way towards me, or if they say a certain thing, or if I see, you know, wrong, I just remember, you know, about the grace and mercy of our Savior. I remember that, you know, we're supposed to forgive. And I look at, you know, all people as brothers and sisters, I really do. I try not to see color. I try not to. I just try to look at the person inside. And that's what's gotten me by all these years. You can't let it get you down. You really can't. You can't use it as an excuse, you know, for not achieving. That's the key. Well, you know, I'm African American, so I've always said, and my mother always told me, I do remember this, my mother always told me, as a black person, I'm going to have to work that much harder. I'm going to have to give 110%. I do remember her saying that. And that's my advice to any African American. Even today, we have to give 110%. I mean, we're not playing on a level playing field, but we're in the ball game. Mm-hmm. You know, we're in the ball game. There was a time when we weren't even in the ball game, but now we're in the ball game, and because of that, we just have to, you know, just give that extra. And I don't have a problem with that. You know, I don't have a problem, because I know if I give that extra, everything's going to work out. I'm proof positive of that. I mean, I grew up on the east side of Cleveland, in the hood. I didn't have a, you know, multiracial experience growing up. So I am an example of a fact of what can happen if you focus, put your mind to it, and you know, don't get, you know, sidetracked by different things that happen in life. You got to have that goal. You got to have that goal. You have to keep your eyes focused, keep your eyes on the prize, if you will.
And there's a way to cope with racism. There are ways people educate, some motivate.
That's true, no doubt about it, no doubt about it. That's true, it's a way to cope. And like I said, the way to cope, as far as I'm concerned, is inwardly, I just feel sorry for that individual. And I know that individual doesn't represent the majority, especially today, because I think most people are tolerant. We're talking about a country that elected a black man as president. So most people are tolerant. But you have a few people who may still hold on to that, you know, those stereotypes and stuff like that. And I feel sorry for those individuals. I just do.
You're an icon in the area.
Well, I wouldn't say all that.
You are an icon in the area, and you've been successful. Those who are watching this, and they know you because since I've been at the desk with you, every time someone sees me, love that Wayne Dawson. I love that Wayne Dawson.
I want to hire you as my agent, okay?
I'll take it. I know you probably pay well. But you're successful.
Yes, I've been blessed.
People
no
want to know how.
How?
Hard work?
Absolutely. Hard work, without a doubt. That is the key. Hard work, that is the key. You know, and I mean, and they're just, I mean, I wasn't given anything. It's hard work. I had some breaks along the way. Like I said before, I got hired here at Channel 8 on a minority training program that no longer exists. But my race was a benefit. It was a plus in that situation. But once I got my foot in the door, I worked my butt off. That's the key. There were others who came in on that same program who aren't working in television anymore or didn't last. So once I got that opportunity, you know, it's almost like with Gale Sayers. There was a running back named Gale Sayers. He played for Chicago Bears. And he said, give me 18 inches of daylight. That's all I need. You give me 18 inches of daylight, and that's all I need. Just give me that one little crack, and I'll bust through there. But like you said, hard work, that's the key. That's the key. Being determined. Being, you know, dedicated to being the best that you can be. That's my motto. That's what I'm all about. And that's what my mother instilled in me. Being the best that you can be. That's the bottom line. You can do it. You know, it doesn't matter what color you are. It has nothing to do with anything. You can still achieve whatever you want to achieve. It's the way it is.
If there's one thing that someone who's watching this could take away from our conversation, what would you want it to be?
Pull up your pants, first of all. But see, you got to understand how old I am, too.
I'm going to guess 35.
Right, 36. So, you know, I'm in a whole different generation. I'm a whole different generation from these kids today. I really, really am. See, talking to me is like them talking to their father. And I would tell them,
do you almost
pull
think
your
it's
pants
worse
up.
Today
Oh, probably.
than it was?
Than it was when I was a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as what the styles and stuff, what we lack today. Here's my thing. I'm going to tell you this right now. To me, the problem is not the isolated incident of a white person killing a black person or a hate crime or something like that. To me, that's not the problem. To me, the problem is black on black crime. That is the problem. The problem is lack of self-esteem within our community. Problem is lack of motivation within our community, lack of role models within our community. To me, that's the problem. It's not this one, it's not the George Zimmermans of the world. It's the individuals who are in the hood selling drugs and doing all those negative things that are poisoning our young people's minds. That's the problem to me. If I had, to me, that's why we should be upset, not over one incident that happened down in Florida.
Where do we start? Where do we start by making that change?
It's up to us. I mean, it's up to African Americans. Where do we start? And I think it starts in the home. The family structure has broken down, unfortunately. It's been that way for a long time. We have to put more emphasis on the family, have to put more emphasis on young men who are fathers to step forward and be fathers. You know, if there are babies making babies, it's a major problem in our community, has been for many, many years. We need young men to step up and be men. We need young black role models. When I was growing up, or even before me, let me take it back even further. When my mom and father were growing up, there were black professionals in the neighborhoods. Now, the professionals, like me included, move out to the suburbs. So there are no role models in the inner city. There's nobody to look up to. But we need to go back to the inner city and mentor these young people because they're crying out for help. And I'm pointing the finger at myself included. We need to go back into the inner city, mentor these young men, get them on the right track, let them understand their potential, and kind of sway them away from the negativity that's out there. But like I said, I was never really, growing up, I knew I was black. That's one thing for sure. You know, I never thought that I knew I was black. I look in the mirror, yep, he's still black. You know, but I never, you know, experienced that major racism. And if it happened, man, I had tunnel vision, man. My thing was I want to be successful. You know, I want to make my parents proud. So I'm not going to get sidetracked by what someone may think or what may happen here or somebody, quote unquote, discriminating against me. I'm just going to, if that happens, boom, it's like, you know, I'm just going to go the other way. That was just me. That's how I dealt with it. I didn't get bogged down by that because a lot of people use it as an excuse. Oh, well, you know, I'm black, you know. And because of that, they set their expectations so low. But what if Barack Obama had done that? You know? What if Oprah Winfrey had done that? They wouldn't be where they are today if they had done that. We have to start, you know, shooting for the top. We just do, and forget about all that silly stuff, those isolated incidents of racism. Yeah, they make you mad. You know, yeah, you're upset for a minute, but don't let that consume you. Is it right? Absolutely not. But don't let that consume or define you. Keep on moving. Keep on striving. That's the key.